Look, I love the retouch filter, and it's not because I need it to hide my wrinkles. I don't really give a fuck about what it does for my wrinkles. It's the bags under my eyes. It really, it's like instant concealer. It just takes it away immediately. I don't ever have to wear makeup. I just put this retouch filter on and I feel amazing. Damn, it really makes me look old when I smile, though. I wondered for the longest time, though, if it was making my teeth whiter, but I don't think it is. And I was wondering that because I have a fake tooth. That one right there. And I feel like I can tell the whiteness, but maybe not. And I know I've told the story before, but I got the fake tooth by diving into the shallow end of the pool, showing my cousin how to be a proper mermaid. And I was actually living in Florida at the time, but was on vacation in Minnesota. So my dentist was it was not nearby. So I just went to this random dentist and it was like in a house. And he just slapped this stuff on my tooth. We joked that it was Bondo. I don't really know what it was, but it worked. And I just went home and went about my life like normal. And I didn't do anything differently. And then one day they were like, you need a root canal, we need to get a veneer on there, like we need to get this taken care of, or a crown. I don't know, they need to do something with my tooth. So I was like, okay, cool. So they ground my tooth down into a nub. There's nothing but a nub underneath there. And then they put this like temporary fake tooth on there. It was like this weird like acrylic type tooth, and they just slapped that on there, and they were like, there you go, you can have this for a little bit till we get your permanent crown. And they glued it, yeah, but the glue didn't work well, so it came off. And for a while there was like just a little trick. I would just be funny and be like, oh, look, I can take my tooth out, and everyone would be like, oh my god. I'd be like, I know, isn't that crazy? But then one day I was at a speech meet, which is so fun because my son is going to be in speech now. He's 13. And back in the day, you had a 1x1 like square foot like place that you could be in, and you couldn't exit that 1x1 little square foot box. And I was giving my speech. Nowadays you can go anywhere in the room. That is so unfair. But anyways, I was giving my speech and I did something aggressively with my lips. I'm not sure, I went like that, and my tooth like literally, it fell on the ground and like tinked on the floor. It was like tink 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 tink. And I like looked around and I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm in high school. I'm a little baby, and I'm like boy crazy, and I'm like, there's boys in the classroom. My future husband is in the classroom, and he's looking at me right now. And also, I was scared if I left the box, I would lose points. I was like, am I allowed to leave the box to pick up my tooth? I don't know if this has ever happened before. So I just went and picked up my tooth and put it back in my mouth, and I didn't even clean it off. And as I put it back in my mouth, I was like, see, now my future husband is my former future husband, because he's gonna look at me putting my fucking dirty tooth back in my mouth and not even cleaning it off and be like, ew. So I got back up and to my little box, and I just finished giving the speech without saying a word. And I think about that every once in a while, because yeah, then I went and they got me a permanent tooth. They put like a permanent like veneer on there, it doesn't come off. And it's really funny because like, how they say like celebrities, like when they get like veneers, their like gums are dying because it's like blue up there. I don't think that's actually what's happening, because if you look, huh? See? It's like metal in there. I think it's the metal. I don't think it's their gums dying. It could be, but I think there's the metal. I think it's the metal in the veneer. Also, when they were doing this one, they pulled out this massive needle, and they were like, we need to inject this into the top of your mouth so that we can drill away right here, so we can shove it up in there better to get like a better like look. I don't know. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. And they were like, it's gonna look weird. And I was like, well, I'm gonna live my life with a weird tooth then. You're not giving me that shot. And they tried so hard to convince me. They were like, but you need it, and we need it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. I'll do it without the shot. I'll deal with the pain. You're not putting that motherfucking needle in my mouth at all. And they said that's why you could see the metal behind it, because they couldn't drill, because I would have been in too much pain because I did not let them give me that shot. How could you even do that? Something like that big into the roof of your mouth. That doesn't make sense. He was incompetent, not gonna lie. This guy had no idea what he was doing. It's fine though. It turned out great.